Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us in this sacred space. I'm Elohi Magdalena Rosa, also known as Anümani, and I'm an intuitive healer, channel, and voice alchemist, and I'm here with my soul sister,
Pamela Jane Gerrand. It is such a delight and an honor to be here this evening. I am Elohi Maria Rosa. I am a musician. I focus on the muse, sacred poet, sound alchemist. I am here voicing the divine feminine in service of the awakening of humanity. And we are here tonight to tap in, to tune in to the planetary energies, to this time, this incredibly magnificent and mercurial changing time on planet Earth, and to see what arises between our hearts. And we also have something very specific to talk about for 2024, which we will get to later.
Thank you, beloved sister. Yeah, so much is going on in the world. I'm sure that all of you are feeling the acceleration of the energies. A lot of that is manifesting in different ways in the body. For me, there's been a lot of fatigue. Some of that fatigue is to slow me down, so that I could go into a space of communion. And really important with this level of intensity to really listen to your body. And it has such intelligence, and I think we forget about that sometimes. So it can help guide you to the places within where more love is calling you forth, and listening to that and taking care of yourself. Self-care is really important, especially at this time. The divine feminine is rising in all its glory, and we're going to talk more about that in connection to our retreat. But I just want to say a couple of words around that, because I know for me, and also for you, Pamela, we really have been feeling that calling to be a vessel for that expression, for that divine feminine, for the goddess energy, for the divine mother energies, which have many different faces. Sophia and Shekinah and Isis and Mary Magdalene and Mother Mary and Kuan Yin, and so many goddesses and deities that come forth to bring that beautiful divine feminine energy. And I'm just going to say one more point, that it's so needed to help the parts of us that are really in fear, because when we're going through these big changes, which we all are experiencing it on different levels in many different ways, it is that nurturing energy, that feminine energy that is needed to bring calmness and assuredness to your ego, to your little girl, little boy, that it's all okay, and that you're there with them, holding their hand, and that they are protected and safe, so that they can surrender right to the light. So I know for me, I've really been calling in those energies, because my little girl has really been afraid of letting go of certain things. So I honor all that beautiful energy that's coming in to support us.
Beautifully expressed. Thank you, Elohi. And yes, it is an unprecedented time of change and acceleration. Without a doubt, so many people are speaking to this experience of tremendous fatigue and nervous system, feelings of dizziness or brain fog, and that falling away of any of the old rhythms and routines that we were in unconsciously. And I say this by way of any of the drives from our ego, or, if you want to call it a type A personality that would have a lot of balls in the air and juggling and having schedules that in all truth have never served us. But the times we are living in now, we are really being brought to prioritize what is essential for us and what are some of the things that are distractions or things that we may just do to keep busy, or we've just done them in the past. And we are having these influxes of light, this plasma light from the great central sun, from the radiance of this influx of energy through the coronal mass injections and the solar flares. Our bodies are recalibrating, our DNA is shifting, and it really is a time where we are going through such a physical shift in our bodies that we are tired, beyond tired. And it reminds me of when I was in my first trimester being pregnant, and it doesn't show yet. You don't look pregnant. But I remember reading one of the pregnancy books that said, when you are in those first weeks with that little tiny fetus, there is so much cellular division and change that's going on within your body that you are actually expending the energy of a mountain climber. And I remember I would, I'm a bit of a night owl, but I would fall asleep at 7 p.m., the music to Entertainment Tonight in the background, and I would just pass out. And I think about the fact that we are in that kind of gestational space now, each one of us recalibrating, upgrading, up-leveling cellularly in our DNA. And we must take heed to these calls to rest. As you had said, it's essential. So I find, and we've talked about this, it's really good to honor this sacred rest and not pathologize. If you're taking things off your plate and it's starting to feel a little bit like, why can't I keep the pace that I used to? There is actually something very divine in these times we are in, and we are meant to really honor what is true, like a laser. We may have been diffused before in what we were carrying out in a day, but that laser focus is asking us to be in stillness, to meditate, to go for walks in the woods, that literally we need to do these things, these sacred acts, and to allow our bodies to rest and become calm, as you said. It's essential for these times for us to really ground and center and open to the incredible wisdom and the downloads that are here for us at this time.
Absolutely, my sister. You reminded me of the word regeneration, and finding those things that help you regenerate, like this beautiful water that's in this picture behind us here. Water is such a healing and purifying energy. Water really is playing an important role in our transformation because we hold lots of water. And, you mentioned, nature, and I mean, all these, the tree spirits and all of the elemental spirits, they are here to help us in our regeneration. And so as we go and take walks in, the gardens and the parks and, in the woods, we are being regenerated. And so knowing for yourself, what are those things that help you regenerate? For me, definitely those things are the ones that I really love. Going into a nice hot bath, or into a pool of water, or taking a walk in the woods or in the park. Just are my favorite things to do.
Oh, you're reminding me of a post. Elizabeth Gilbert, the amazing, funny, witty, wise author of Eat, Pray, Love. She posted something recently on social media where she said, we are all tired and we all need to heal. And she said, how I heal? In the water. And she said, I go in the water, I touch the water. I let the water touch me. I taste it. I immerse myself. And then I sleep. And then I go back to the water. And she said it's literally a rest, rinse, rest, repeat. That's what heals me. And
I love that.
this kind of quality of what might feel like indulgence, this is really our true nature, is to let go of the distractions. And I've really been finding myself, there are so many electronic magnets and pulls on our energy. We all know that in this digital world, cell phones and screens, and they attract us and they release dopamine, and we can get these beautiful hits of the happy hormones, but we get those same feelings in water and laying on the grass and being together, singing together, dancing together, meditating together, tuning in to the fragrance of the Divine Mother herself together, where we then become this central pillar, opening up to this wisdom that flows through us. And it's not on a channel, it's not on a video we see. We become the conduit. And that is what you and I are here to do and be and embody in this world, is to invite everyone. And I don't want to say just women, because we do women's retreats and lots of women's events. At some point we are going to be inviting the brothers in too. And but for everyone, the invitation is really to give yourself the time, space, and permission to really blossom into your own creatrix of beauty and wisdom, and the sacred pulse of your soul that you're here to express. Each one of us has this unique code, this unique blueprint that I love Martha Graham, that she said, we each have this impulse to share in our creativity. And if we don't, it is lost to the world forever. So I love that, kind of feeling into that this is what we're here to do, is to share our unique note in the symphony of this transformation, or whatever our light is, whatever our dark is, whatever that palette of all those tones, that our greatest joy is in sharing what is arising in us to create and to co-create.
Yes, and it reminds me of something I speak about in my book, Unmasking Your Soul, that we are, the higher guidance connected to our souls wants to help us find that flow that you're talking about, right? There's divine flow that happens, which doesn't conform to the conditioning of the 9 to 5 being in a regular job. It really is this sacred union that happens between your feminine, who's the initiator, the creatrix, and then your divine masculine that then helps you bring it out into the world. And, I have really been feeling a pull to let go of some of that old conditioning, that if there is a moment during the day where my body is saying, you just need to take a nap, even if it's for 15 minutes, that you make the time to do that. And of course, not everyone, can do that, but we are being guided to really find that flow that is our flow, because we are all unique and we each have a different flow. And when you can find that flow for yourself, which connects into, the things that really make your heart sing, the things that connect with that soul note, as you're speaking about, Pamela, those things, when you do those things, they elevate you, they lift you to higher vibrations and frequencies, and they also become the antennae, the magnet for what you're wanting to create in your life. And so if, you look at your life, at the places where maybe things aren't happening for you, then there's probably, something that's draining your energy that really isn't in alignment. But when you dance with that flow and you really start to embody, ultimately it's who you truly are. You're embodying the fullness of your divinity, and whatever that is for you, it begins to then transform the outside world, because all transformations begin from within.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that you and I love to do together, as we use our voices, right, to be the vessels and the instruments, even though we play instruments as well, to bring sound into the world. And just sound has really taken an important role in our transformation, because it goes directly to where you need it. And I remember when I started channeling, I asked my guides, why this form of, of healing? And they said, because it goes beyond the ego mind, right? You don't want the ego mind to get in the way of what you're trying to bring forth. And so vibration and frequency just moves into you, into the places where it's needed. And that's why I love the work that we do together.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Me too, my sister. And, we've all had those experiences where the hair stands up on our arms when we experience music or a voice that touches us so deeply that we can feel what they're feeling, and it brings tears to our eyes. And really what I discovered 15 years ago, when I had been performing for a long time in different modalities and idioms and theater and concerts, and when I began this exploration of what I call soul song, of really singing from, I want to say that when I used to memorize music and sing it sort of from here up, every time we sing, we use our whole body, our whole instrument. But I found that when I was memorizing other people's music, whether it was Broadway or classical or other kinds of music, it was a lot from the neck up. It was a lot of memorizing and then replicating that. And when I started to receive the songs that were writing me, and I don't want to say that I wrote them, because it really did feel like I was co-creating with the divine, they felt like they came in through the top of my head, but they went down to this deep place and swirled around in my pelvic bowl and in this, in the womb and the root and sacral chakra, in that place of creativity and creation. And then when I would sing these songs, I would root myself on the earth. I could literally feel myself placing my feet where, when I would take a breath, I would draw from the middle of earth. And when I would sing, I could feel it as a whole body experience, singing from my one point. And it really felt like this was a holy experience of being sung by the divine, using my body as the instrument, as the sinew and flesh and bone, as the echo chamber for this wisdom and this emotion that was coming through me. And, so many people would come up to me when I first started singing this way, my own original music, and sometimes it was improvised and shamanic and bardic, and they would kind of say, oh, we're a bit upset, and would say, nobody makes me cry. How did you do that? And, I would laugh and go, how did it feel? And especially the men would say, well, at first I was kind of upset and mad at you because nobody makes me cry, right? And I realized that this is the healing that we need, because the disease of disconnect we've had is that men have been encouraged to be in the left brain and to be intellectual and to think and not feel. And women, the domain has been the opposite of that. Women have been encouraged to be the carriers of nurturance and the heart, and they can be emotional, but in the shadow of that, women are cast in the light of being too emotional, and that we don't think in the same way as men, right? And I feel that we are here to move beyond any separation by way of any label or definition of gender, any of those qualities that would separate or define us, because we are We are all a soul in a body. We are all beings who have come here to experience the full, rich palette of being human. And it is such a disservice to the glory of our humanness to be shut down in our emotional nature and to have our heart closed down, which, frankly, the majority of us are, because we've had betrayals and wounds, and it hasn't felt safe to allow ourselves to feel. But this is the paradox, and this is at the heart of what we've been drawn to experience for ourselves as we sing and sound, and then to bring to others to, I say, feel to reveal what is arising to be healed. Because it's not an intellectual job. It's where the mind and the heart dance in communion to allow what's been shoved so deep down into the basement to be brought up into the light. And, the sound does the work. The sound is the embrace of the Divine Mother herself, rocking and clearing and soothing away any of those heart hurts or mind muddles. It just is the way the Mother eases us into our healed holiness, our wholeness.
Yes. It's beautiful, my sister. You're reminding me of, I was having a vision of being in a temple. And, in ancient times, right, how we gathered together in the temples and we sang and we danced. And it was very sacred, but yet very ecstatic and blissful and connected to the heart. And, this work that Pamela and I are bringing together is connected to the lineage of the rose. It is the spiral pathway into the heart. In the Gospel of Mary Magdalene, it is the way of love. And the rose, holds, it's, I think, the flower that has the highest vibration on the earth, connected to Venus and the many priestesses that were connected to these energies in Avalon and Lemuria in Egypt, right? All over the world, there is this connection to these sacred practices that many came together in sacred community to, go into this place where this sacred union, you were talking about the masculine and the feminine, where, we melt away. Yeshua likes to say that we love each other back into being, where we're melting away what's in the way of this sacred union, of the oneness, because we are imprinted with that separation, right? And bringing back that sacred feminine, sacred masculine into sacred marriage, sacred union, so that we can embody the fullness of our divinity in in human form. And that is what allows us to then, and we're already doing it, right? Co-creating this new earth, which is connected to the transfiguration that's happening within each of us, because each of us hold, keys and codes that are part of this. I see it as like a soul canvas that comes into oneness, and each of us bringing our unique key to create that level of unity and oneness, and create a world that behaves differently than it has, where it's not about control and patriarchy, but more really compassion and love and forgiveness and all those qualities that we all have within us, right? But the conditioning and the trauma and the imprints have separated us from that true divine spirit that is wanting to come home to this physical vessel that we are in. So that is our invitation as we do our work together, to invite you into this sacred spiral of the heart, into that deeper sacred space within where this can happen. And there's a beautiful rose on the screen. I just want to mention it.
Yes.
So I commissioned a piece of art, of the light encoded art that's on the screen from Rosa Maria Marquez, who's a light channel. And I didn't know the reason why when I had gotten some downloads that I needed to ask her to help me create something that I would put on my new website as I was really embracing my newest spiritual name, Elohi, which I received last year. And as we began chatting back and forth, I got some downloads that this light encoded image was really holding energy, and it's like a temple of light. To bring what we are talking about together, this Christos Sophia energy, to birth the divine child, which is what we are all doing right now. So I want to give a shout out to her for the beautiful work. I love, it's like a violet purple rose. That's like one of my favorite colors. With all the golden, Christed light, and there's light language in it. And so perfect for the work that we are here to do, and the anchoring of the new templates that want to birth through each of us to allow us to come into that sacred union.
I think about the fact that I came across Rosa Maria Marquez's work about a year and a half ago, and was so entranced by this beautiful, exquisite sacred geometry that she overlays on different flowers, but a lot of roses. And when I gaze into the center of this image, it is a portal. It draws you in as you're gazing at it into this point of light. It's almost like when I meditate at times, it's interesting. I do get that purple amethyst, very much this color kind of pearl, which I think is many people who meditate, longtime meditators, start to see this with your eyes closed. And this is the point of light that is the divine pilot light within each one of us. This divine love that is the source of who we are, beyond any personas or masks. And it really feels at this time that we are being asked like never before to truly own the light of who we are and who we've come to be. And as you say, create this new world where we behave differently towards each other, as in like this exquisite rose represented by the Christed family, where we begin to embody the principles of compassion, mercy, where we have reverence for the earth and her gifts and her beauty, and all of the ways that when we begin to awaken from the slumber, when all of us have been there at some point in our life where we're kind of just going through the motions and we're not aware yet of what really is the impulse of what we have come here to embody and experience, and let everything else fall away. And it's interesting, Megan Watterson, who's a beautiful author who writes about Mary Magdalene, she wrote something I received in her newsletter today about the rose that I want to share because it feels very relevant speaking about this right now. She writes, "The rose is one of the most ancient symbols of the divine feminine. It's a symbol of what happens unseen from within. It reminds us that we can't force ourselves to ripen. We can't will ourselves to be anyone other than exactly who we are in this moment. So much of our lives, for so many of us, is focused on what happens outside of us, on what we do or produce. And then what we produce or earn is linked to a sense of self-worth, a sense of purpose, and even status or importance in the world. We can forget Sometimes, though, that the most powerful contribution we can ever offer is not actually something we can point to outside of us, or lose, or ever have taken from us. The most powerful contribution we have to offer is the love we cultivate from within. And reading this morning, knowing that I was coming on the call with you today, I thought, that is just it. That's all that in a bag of chips. That's exactly what we're here for, is to really embolden ourselves and others to have the courage, because it does take courage to speak our truth and to stand for what we believe in, and to move the needle in our life. It sounds so simple and clear, but that needle, the two energies in life, moving the needle from fear to love, that's all we're here to do. And we do it in, incremental ways, back and forth, bigger steps. And really, this way, the way of the rose, is to courageously to own the fierce grace of the Divine Mother, where she exalts being one who will stand for love no matter what. No matter what winds are blowing outside of us, no matter what voices of approval or admiration or affection or attachment that blow, that perhaps we feel we needed. This is the time we are coming to know that some of those attachments have been traps. And we have to be fiercely courageous to allow the voices of our families, the voices of colleagues or friends, or even in our communities, to fully surrender and say, "Thy will be done," means we have to really then, when triggers arise for our own ego, where all of a sudden we aren't being approved of, or some of the things we're doing or saying, we're finding people fall away, this is okay. We start to understand this is a recalibration. This is a tuning in, like that laser focus. And that's when the courage, the musculature of the Divine Mother, courage, the Mother Bear, really rises, because, you have the little test. You're going to be true to you. That person didn't like it, or you got a little bit of flack for that. This is where we really grow. Listen to my throat as I say that. And when you do energy work, that which can, challenge the status quo or challenge your own way of being. This is the litmus test of the love we came to embody, because really what we come to know is there is no approval outside of us that we need. We simply need to let go of any of those voices outside of us that might trigger us or entrance us or entrain us into just keeping those walls or those blinders on. Because when we allow ourselves to see the full panorama, that's when we're really in that embodied, infinite, universal love that all of a sudden we're creating, and we're inspired, and we're co-creating, and we're innovating. And we've got endless energy. And that's the state we're meant to be in. Not always watching to see if we're being approved of, or do I have likes, or, this is what we're leaving behind.
Yes, my sister. And you're reminding me of, so I channel the goddess Isis, who has been so instrumental in my healing, and even in healing of my physical body. And she has really been strongly encouraging me to really stand my ground and to not compromise who I am. And yet, every day we are surrounded by experiences that test us. Are you going to compromise, right, in this moment? Because maybe you're having a conversation with someone that, sometimes has been a difficult relationship. Well, of course, all of this is divinely orchestrated. I always remind folks that we co-create, our souls co-create every experience because we are mirroring to each other the places within where we need to bring more of that love. And you have a beautiful song called Love Is All, and I always say love is the alchemy. It really is. We spend most of our lives seeking that outside of us when really, the key and the formula of, finding what you seek is really within you. It's in your heart. And I want to read Mary Magdalene's invitation so that we can talk about this beautiful retreat that we're going to be doing in Costa Rica, April 20th to 27th of 2024 at a beautiful mystical lodge. There's a picture here behind us of one of the areas there at the retreat center. And when Pamela and I were sitting and holding, what this retreat was going to be about, we got information from the goddesses in this lineage that really this particular retreat would be around the triple goddess energies of the maiden, mother, and crone, and helping to unveil those energies within all those who come to really help you embody all those aspects, because each of those archetypes brings something really important to your being. So Mary Magdalene, Mother Mary, and Isis are really going to be leading each of those archetypes and sound transmissions that Pamela and I will be doing, amongst many other beings that we bring through. But Mary Magdalene had a specific message, and I'm just going to read it here to just anchor us in this energy. Hello, beloved sister of the rose. I am honored to be with you on this journey. Thank you for answering the call of the mysteries of the rose. You have lived these mysteries in ancient lifetimes of your being. Now we come together to open you more deeply to the rose mystery, secrets taught in the mystery schools of long ago in Lemuria, Atlantis, Egypt, Babylon, Avalon, and more. As we come together in sacred sisterhood, I, with Mother Mary and Isis, will open the Holy Grail mysteries of the womb, the heart, and the brow within you. The Holy Grail represents the living waters of your source being, the emanation of God, Goddess, that is your true essence. Through the unveiling of the mysteries of the Grail, we will move you through the stages of the feminine, maiden, mother, and crone, so you may embody these aspects fully and deepen into the sacred love, nourishment, and wisdom that Mother Sophia holds for you. If you're willing to meet the deepest parts of you in the shadows and allow them to merge with the living and healing waters of your holy womb grail, you will emerge as the higher and deeper essence of your true self, the source of you, the divine priestess and goddess within you. I look forward to being with you in Costa Rica in April of 2024.
So beautiful, Elohi. Such an exquisite, embodied message, an invitation. So beautiful.
Thank you. And the water that is there in this picture is a sacred pool, and we will be doing a sacred ritual there as part of the initiations and activations and all the amazing work that we're going to be doing together.
Yes, it's a waterfall pool, and there's an infrared sauna to the right of the photo, and it's all natural stone and beautiful healing waters in that waterfall pool with tropical flora and fauna all around it. I'll share a little bit about Mystica because I co-led a retreat there in March of 2016, and with Lori Miles Carullo, who is one of the co-owners and leaders of the Mystica Lodge. And It is an absolutely magical, mystical, glorious property. It's high on a mountain, high on a hill, with a view of the people that are familiar with Costa Rica and the northern part of the country, near the Arenal volcano, and they were right on Lake Arenal. So I remember waking up in the morning and seeing the mist rising over the top of the volcano and the lake, and the sound of the howler monkeys and toucans. And where we will be doing our workshops and transmissions will be in the Yogashala, which is a short walk into the jungle, with a beautiful brook, water trickling by. And it is honestly so beautiful. It is hard to put into words. You just have to be there. And this particular retreat center has been in existence for 3 decades now. And I know from some people that I have spoken to recently, they really have, in the past 5 to 10 years, been drawing people from all over the world, because it is one of the most beautiful locations in Costa Rica, Pura Vida land. And I say, and knowing this from having been there, that Lori and her husband Francesco, they are such devoted human beings, just divine spiritual souls who are here to activate transformation in every individual that comes to their property. And they are holding space for such a beautiful co-creation of this new earth template. And they work so hard and hold space for everyone that comes. And I can see that it's just like this building symphony. The music gets sweeter every season, and I can see all of the different retreats that are the people that are being called and attracted to come. So we are putting the call out to the women that are meant to come and co-create this energy with us, April 20th to 27th of 2024. It seems like a long way off, but we really wanted to start inviting those that are meant to come. And we live in this place where we think that time actually exists, but it's not linear. We've already seen the group, and it's an amazing group of goddesses and sisters. And it's about, this tap on the heart, tap on the crown chakra. The women that know that they are meant to come and join us and weave this, become these architects of light, and share what particular tone and note and light that you have come to share in this world. You will feel it. You will absolutely feel the call, and everything that you need. We always say it's at the fingertips of your awareness. All the magic that a person needs to attend one of our retreats. I have to say, we just did a retreat in Sedona in April, and we found this to be the case. And all of the women that attended with us, once they fully committed, it was like that beautiful Goethe poem that, once you fully commit, and, that boldness has magic, power, and genius in it, the universe conspires to lift you to your goal. So there can be no impediment where the heart is in alignment. So we invite whoever is hearing this now or coming to the replay or hear it from a friend, the Magdalena Rosa Mystica retreat with us in Costa Rica in April of 2024. We would be so honored and delighted to have you come and join us.
Yes, absolutely. It is an all-inclusive retreat. So the link for the retreat is going to be underneath the video for whatever platform you're watching this on. It's a WeTravel site. You'll be able to read all the specifics and see testimonials on there from our previous Sedona retreat. And we're going to be doing an excursion. Pamela, can you talk a little bit about that?
We are going to have an excursion day in the morning to Don Olivos, an eco farm, a family farm that delights in sharing the different things that they grow and produce there. So we'll be tasting local fruits and chocolate and coffee. And then we will be heading off to have lunch at Ecotermales, which is a beautiful mineral springs that's at the base of the Arenal volcano. So I haven't been there, but Lori tells me and other guests who have been there, they have said it is really a deeply rejuvenating experience. These particular minerals that are in these waters are very healing to the body, and it's just a beautiful setting. So we will soak and be immersed in those beautiful healing waters on our excursion day. And on the property, there's a beautiful labyrinth that you can walk, and this, as you see, this waterfall pool, and where we have our shared meals. It's one of my favorite places at the whole retreat center. It's this magical, brightly colored, tropical dining. Well, I can't call it a dining hall. It's a magical mystery dining room, and beautiful twinkling lights and beautiful, delicious food. And you will, come to be rejuvenated and reset, the renaissance of whatever it is that you are meant to anchor in this lifetime. We are here to help you nurture and bring this forth by way of coming together, where you can step away from your daily round and all of the obligations and some of the ways that you might have, been drained, or just the distractions. There is something very holy when we commit to time for ourselves. And I will speak to this, the piece of taking the time, or this feels very exclusive, or would I spend the money on this, or how can I afford to do this, or these are old voices that we meet in this time of greater and greater abundance, that we realize there's so many ways that, we fritter away the great abundance that we're given. We don't need to speak to the details of that, but I'm not much of an online shopper, but goodness knows, we can do a lot of that and it can add up, right? What we are saying is that in this offering to oneself, it is a commitment to step outside the box, to really and truly honor and uphold the part of ourself that really does well. I don't even like to use the word deserves, but because we are all deserving, but to really honor that this is the time for us to be the priestess and the goddess and the queen. And it's just yeah. And there's somebody at my door.
Yeah, and I'll just add to that. When I think about doing things for myself, and I'm a big supporter of self-care, I know that my life changed once I really started to make that, a priority and non-negotiable, and in doing the things that help me take care of my body, so I can really show up and with a cup, that overflows with love as I serve. And so I feel that, the first thing to do is to really tap into your heart and your soul. Your soul always knows, what is in alignment for you and what isn't. And if something feels in alignment, you are a co-creator and a manifester. And you just hold that intention, right, of, okay, let me figure out, how I'm going to be able to make this happen. And always, as Pamela talked about, when you commit to something and you say, yes, this is for me, the universe always brings it forth. The universe will bring you the abundance to be able to make it happen. And on that note, we are trying to make it, easy for people to join us. So we have payment plans, and the payment plans right now, there's 5 monthly you make a deposit, and then you can make 5 monthly payments. You also have the choice of paying up front if you want to. And the system we use actually is very flexible. You can even pay a little bit more on each payment if you want to. But we encourage you that if you're interested, the sooner you register, you'll be able to take advantage of those 5 monthly payments, because at some point we'll have to change it, and it'll keep narrowing down to like 4 payments and then 3 payments. And, so if you feel the call when you connect in with the energy of myself and Pamela and this beautiful rose and the scenery and the energy of Costa Rica and, Mary Magdalene, Isis, and Mother Mary, and all this divine mother energy, that will be part of this. And each of you who come, right, are part of that sacred circle that creates the container for everyone who's going to be there. So you are part of the vessel and the channel that brings forth all of those energies and allows it to really flow. And if I remember some of the, many of the testimonials we got from Sedona was of the sisterhood that people felt.
Yeah.
Some of which who had, felt uncomfortable sometimes in groups and said, I just felt so held by the sisters.
Yeah. I loved every word of what you said. And I have to own that what I shared before, I was a little bit distracted because the doorbell rang. And also, which is life, also, I am healing the shadow part of me that came into this world, so true to what my path is on this planet, and anchored in a bit of scarcity and lack, limitation thinking. And I think a lot of us who have been whatever we want to call ourselves, way showers, light workers, have carried a tinge of this. And there goes my throat again. We are clearing this old pattern of scarcity, lack, limitation, anything to do with that. I think of it as the pipeline that has, it just gets tighter and tighter and squeezed off by our thoughts and our fear. And am I worthy? How can I do that? What will my husband say? What will my family think? Truly, there are so many voices when you talk about that uncompromising commitment to stepping into the love that we are, and in that fierce grace, owning that we are going to command forth everything that we need to be and do this. And that means owning our value. And so this really is something, we've spoken about this, Elohi, you and I, and this is also what we're bringing forth for women, is commanding this sovereign, even beyond self-care, but it's the self-compassion and that courageous voice that where we really lean in to heal that wound of worthiness. And when we do this, we begin to open, that pipeline widens and widens and widens. When we are in alignment and we begin to shift from all of those old conditioned voices of lack, the unlimited begins to show up in our life by way of synchronicity and abundance, unexpected abundance, and the reprioritizing of this to say, no, yes, I am saying a wholehearted yes to this. And so this is what we are calling forth for ourselves, whether it be for this particular retreat in Costa Rica, or whether it's for a creation that you've held in your heart, a painting or a sculpture or a book, or a symphony you wanted to create or write, something that has been deep within you as something you wanted to bring forth or as an activist, some kind of nonprofit company, or a way that you see yourself of being in service in this world to bring more of that cooperative, collaborative, creative side of the divine feminine forth. We are here to hold your hand and take you every step of the way forward and have your back and encourage you and encourage this this new illumined, expansive way of being where we leave that smaller voice that hints to that lack, scarcity, into that more expansive, unlimited way of being. Because when I think about a rose, let's just talk about the rose. The rose herself, she is the symbol for us, for any of us that are daring to live from the courage and the clarity and the compassion of our ultimate benevolent, sacred, divine soul purpose. The rose is resplendent and beautiful and fragrant and unapologetic in her beauty and her grace, and draws us in, with that amazing fragrance. And we are here to, each one of us is a unique bloom, and we are here to fertilize the heck out of our, garden so that we can be all that we came to be in this lifetime.
Absolutely. Thank you. Beautifully said, Pamela. And I'm just going to add to that, you reminded me of the words we've used of reclamation. This really is a time of reclaiming, our divine voices, that the feminine really wants to use our voices to bring it forth in whatever way it is, right? Spoken word, in the role that you're playing through sound. But the voice holds such power in the manifestation and the co-creation of creating the world that we desire and the things that we want to bring forth in service. The reclamation of our divine power, the reclamation of our divine beauty, of, the divine sacred sexuality, all the things that, in ancient times were revered, and a lot of that has been lost, and we've been asked to dim many parts of us. And so these sacred containers that we create with each of you are to help you reclaim all those parts of you that want to come home, so that you can just be you. The word that my higher guidance, and I'm smiling because they're saying unleashing, unleashing that wild side, the goddess within you that doesn't care about what anybody else is saying, when, it's what Isis has been telling me: stand true to who you are, embody fully who you are, stand your ground. Because the truth is that, as we expand, your light may trigger other people. Everyone is not on the same journey that you are. Many times through our lives, we see that people fall away and new people come in because you are being supported with the vibrations and frequencies, and also the support, the loving support that we all need, because we're still human. And, we have feelings. And so we want to be surrounded by people who love us as we are. Which is why I always love when Yeshua says we are loving each other back into being, because that really is the core of all this. Love is what is bringing us back home.
That is a beautiful, beautiful statement, my sister. We are here to love each other home. And at the beginning of my new poetry book, at the introduction, I say, I think it was a riff on Ram Dass's beautiful "We are all just walking each other home." I say we are all singing each other home. And I think about that beautiful statement. It's at the heart of it is loving and feeling loved, and expanding and embodying that that love that transforms without effort the fears that we all carry, the humanness that we all falter, we all care, about the things that we care about, whether it be, moving past the approval of others takes being present to some times where it's really uncomfortable, that we know we actually have been used to that. We've been attached to it. We've actually depended on it at times. Yeah. And there's this profound love that comes when it's the no matter what. I feel like the Divine Mother love that is the earthly love that we've come to embody is, I love you no matter what. This is what is at the heart of unconditional love. And I think about, we're all just singing each other home. I go back to my mama, when I was little. She used to rock us, and she either did this wordless lullaby into our ear, and she sang it to my kids as well. That was just, it was just meant to soothe us. And it was, ah, ah, ah. And it was this rhythmic sound that I think is probably similar to the sound of what blood rushing in our veins sounds like. Maybe she was emulating the sound of what we would hear in the womb. That's just coming to me right now. It was so incredibly loving and soothing when she would sing that to us. And as we got older and would have a bump on our knee, or, a fight with a friend at school, she would then, wasn't rocking us like when we were toddlers, but she would, I remember, embrace me, and she would kind of rock me a little bit, and she would whisper into my ear, I know. And when I think about it, my mother was orphaned at a very young age. Her dad died when she was 9, and her mom had a stroke and moved far, far away when she was 13. So she was orphaned and had to move in with her older sister. She didn't have parents from the time she was 13. It's going to make me cry. And my mother has one of the most profound, loving hearts you would ever know. And she said to me, well, it's because I never had a mother growing up. I never had a father. And I wanted to give you kids when I never had. Mm-hmm. And there is something profound about being loved by someone, especially in our times of suffering and in our pain, where they don't even try to fix it. They just love us exactly where we are. And I call this the great remothering, and I have done this in some workshops. Maybe we'll even do it in Costa Rica. And it's so simple, but it's just, to be held in that way and to have someone sing that great remothering lullaby song into your ear. There is something profound that occurs when we are held in that way. And for the receiver, but also for the one that is sharing or singing that sound, it activates that profound infinite love in us as well. It's a give and take.
Yeah, and you're reminding me of in a class that I was in recently, which is not related to any of this, but they spoke about the brain and about, humanity. And we all know that in order for us to really feel comfortable speaking our truth, we have to feel safe wherever you are in that environment in your body. But what the gentleman who was doing the class said, it's not enough that your environment is safe. You actually have to have human connection. And, that's what you are bringing forth, that, that human connection is really important. We are at a time where we have to mother ourselves. Mm-hmm. That is part of the guidance that came through mothering, our little girls and our little boys. And I remember one of my mentors, Sark, she would have us hug ourselves. But we also need, a hug from someone else. And I remember when we did the angel, that other exercise we did in Canada, in the other retreat, That was so powerful.
In the Blue Mountains,
Where
yeah.
we were holding each of the sisters and whispering into their ears. I mean, I think for all of us, it was transformational, because that level of intimacy and connection is so needed, and yet, it's not something that you might receive even from your own family, right?
It's true. It's true. And we're living in a time of such great paradox. And I think I was just in my body remembering that Angel Gateway that we did at the Collingwood Blue Mountains retreat last October, almost a year ago now. And the feeling, Maya Angelou that beautiful quote, people will forget what you said and what you did, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. And we're living in this time of great paradox, because the need for connection has never been greater. And we are living in a time of great tribulation. I was thinking about some of our listeners, people coming to this video later, or those that are watching now, may know the beautiful, light worker, Amanda Lawrence, who lives in the UK. She did a video about 2 weeks ago, talking about that it was brought to her in a channeling she did in March of this year, that we would be living this year into next year in a time of great tribulation. And that it would be a time of shaking and quaking, and the world would be on fire. And she had a prescient, prophetic view of the fires in Central and Eastern Canada and in Europe. And, this all came to pass in the summer. And with all that is happening on Mama Gaia, the natural human inclination with this much chaos and turmoil and pain and suffering and strife, it's a lot for us to take in, and the nervous system can just shut down. There's more opportunity for us to just tune out. It's too much. And yet, you and I know, and we all know in our hearts, that the invitation of this cataclysmic time of tribulation is awakening us. It is saying, okay, what is it going to take to bring you to your knees, to actually bring you into these moments where we see the beautiful coming together in community of the unity consciousness, and where there's a need, where there's a tragedy, there's always this beautiful experience of people coming together and donating supplies, or coming together, to care for those that need, healing, or whatever. It's happening right now as we speak, in Morocco this week, all over. And it is calling on the deepest part of us to, I call it the fierce grace of the mother. The mother doesn't flinch or look away when the child is bleeding or throwing up or having just whatever's happening. The mother does what needs to be done and attends to the physical body, and then rocks and soothes or calms and reassures. And I really feel like I'm getting shivers, because I know that we came here at this time to be a part of this team, to be a part of this, whatever you want to call it, this, cohort of awakened consciousness, to say, I'm not going to avert my gaze. In fact, this tragedy and the turmoil is awakening a deeper part of my sacred heart, of this love that says, I so feel the pain on the planet, and I'm going to let it awaken my own compassionate bodhicitta. In the Buddhist tradition, they talk about the awakened, tender, noble heart is the one that feels the pain in the world and uses it with the breath to heal and appease our own suffering, and then breathe out healing to the world. And I think this is what we're being asked to do right now, is to use the pain to confer greater healing on ourselves and our families, our communities, and the greater world.
Well, on that note, my sister, I think that we should do some sounding to maybe help to bring in some of that calming and peaceful energy. So I'm going to play a little track in the background. And can you hear that?
Yes.
Okay. If you are with us, we invite you to close your eyes, to be taken more deeply into this sacred space. Just going to bring in my galactic guides. Hello, beloveds. We welcome you to this sacred space. We want to thank you for being here at this time. All the words spoken by these two vessels on that pathway of love. It is the way home. We invite you in this moment. If there is something in your heart, something challenging, a pain that you may be feeling, anything that perhaps is causing you to feel out of alignment, or perhaps your nervous system is overwhelmed with what is happening in the world, we ask you to bring that into your heart. Bring all of that with intention and awareness. Remember that energy follows intention. So just intend with your heart to bring that energy into your heart center now. And we ask your higher selves to come be with you now. Come be with you now. Higher ascended aspects of each of you, of all those gathered through time and space, anchoring in your bodies, connecting in with that deeper light, deeper wisdom, deeper love, feeling whatever that is in your heart. And just imagine that from the top of your head, you are being showered as we open a portal and a channel for pure source love, source light. Imagining that through this channel of light that is your true essence, that there are beautiful rose petals falling through this channel, becoming liquid love and moving through your body, through all the layers of your being, through your spiritual body, mental body, emotional body, and physical body, and going directly through your crown center at the top of your head and down into your heart center, moving through your chakras, allowing that source love to melt away, that overwhelm, those energies that have been separating you from that peace that lives within your heart. Using your breath to go even more deeply, we invite you to breathe with us now. as that breath of Divine Mother, Divine Father, of all that is, moves through you, through every layer of your being. That light moving through you, that liquid love flowing through your veins, through your central nervous system, melting away what's in the way. For you are loved, beloved, so deeply loved. Elaikoa sakianaiko. Nasekiana shekianikai. Yala.
Omo oshke mawa.
Sekianea.
Shea ziwa mu.
Receiving the sounds within you, into every atom, every molecule, every cell of your being. And imagine that you are being transported into this beautiful sacred grove, a sacred garden with so many roses around you. It's like a processional as we invite the Sisters of the Rose, the Magdalene frequencies, Isis, Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, and the Sisters of the Rose from far and wide, through timelines, from ancient times and from current times. Join us, beloved sisters, in this sacred grove as we open the space for these rose frequencies.
me mawa Elohi
allowing, receiving as the roses in that garden, that sacred grove with you, begin to mist you with their sacred mysteries, misting you with their love frequencies, vapors of rose light, rose waters, showering each of you as you stand in circle. And Isis and Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, in the center of the circle, facing outwardly towards you, radiating and illuminating their goddess energies, Christed light, rose frequencies into your heart, from their heart, creating this grid of love as the energies move from their heart into your heart into their heart, and your heart into the hearts of each sister gathered from around the world, from around the galaxy, across timelines and space. We are not separate. We come here to reclaim all that is our divine inheritance.
Now is the time. Now is the place. The skin of your drum is stretching wider, expanding, opening to receive all of the divine light from the sun itself, awakening all of these gifts that you came into in the blueprint of your being, coded within your DNA. These gifts, talents, this intuition that has been dormant within you is awakening now, coming online. And now is the time to remember, to reclaim all parts of you. You, me, I, we, the one. Yes, dear one, dear one, we watch you with pride of the box of what you've known. Stepping into this greater knowing, this more expansive version of you that is more familiar to you than the old, outworn masks and ways you have known in the past. Breathe into this heart space as your skin drum stretches, a new heartbeat awakening that gathers the lovers, the peacemakers, the ones who have come to mend the broken hoop, to infuse the broken hoop with the rainbow light, to make whole again that which was rent asunder in the great falling away, the great inversion. The time has come to stand upright on the upside of the earth, where the music plays and your feet dance in delight, becoming younger, more innocent, losing all the ways you have grown old and world-weary, jaded and tired. Feel your body becoming electric, illumined with this new energy that is coming to you from the galactic center, from the great central sun, showering down from the Milky Way, from all of the great planets from where we have descended. Andromeda, Sirius, Mintunka, all of the places we have come to be in this great arc of ascension, of expansion, of embodiment. You know the way, dear ones. You know the way. The way is love. Listen when you find you have lost your way, and we will guide you. We will guide you and hold your hand and reveal the path before you. And we wish for you to now, in this space and time called now, to feel the celebration, the jubilee that is rising from the unseen realms as we watch you begin to come into this time that was foretold. A time of tribulation, and yes, a time of triumphant rejoicing, remembrance, the resurrection of the human body, mind, spirit, the love that you are. This love is who you are. Feel the rhythm. Feel your heart come into coherence, into alignment. Know that you are never alone. You are being held as you co-create this new earth of such glory and beauty, a wondrous new world. You have come to co-create, dear ones. Breathe into the knowing, breathe into your heart center, and allow this template of triumph, of transcendence, of arising and ascending with both feet firmly on the ground. heaven coming to earth, earth rising as heaven, as you. And so it is. Trust and rest in this knowing that all is well, all will be well. And hold this in your heart when things begin to shake in your outer world and the fear arises. Hold fast to this knowing, to this trust, to this love that we are wrapping around you and all the sentient creatures on planet Earth, the two-legged, the four-legged, the finned and the furred, the water dwellers, all of the elementals, all parts of this beautiful blue-green planet. We hold you, we love you, we are you. All is well, all will be well. This is the song to sing. Sing this song of all is well. And so it is. Aho miigwech.
Beloved daughters, I am here with you, Isa, Isis. You have walked this journey with me before. In many lifetimes we have been together. You are my daughters. If you feel this in your heart, open and surrender more deeply to that which wishes to birth through you as I spread my wings around you, purifying and cleansing your light body, that more of you may be remembered, more of you may come home to your vessel, more of your gifts, more of your knowing, your wisdom, more of your love. For you are so deeply loved, beloved. You too have wings as you anchor in your angelic, starseed human bodies, anchoring all that you have been before, in all that you are meant to birth into this world, as together you co-create this new earth. I am so overjoyed to be here with you, to dance with you, to move with you, to love with you and through you and for you, to help you remember the oracle, the seer, the healer, the earth keepers, the wisdom holders, the ones who speak to the plants and the trees, the ones who could see through time and space. As you anchor into these higher dimensions that are available to you, beloved, your soul remembers what to do. Allow that part of you to guide you. And in this sacred sisterhood where we stand together in this sacred grove of roses, you are showered in the purity of these rose frequencies that hold such mystery and wisdom for you. Receive them in your heart, as I and Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene, we place roses in your heart. And your rose may be whatever color it is that you are meant to receive in this moment. Allow yourself to receive the rose in your heart, as she melds with you, opening her petals, blooming within your heart center, connecting in more deeply with your divine feminine, divine goddess, with all that you are, beloved. Yesekiare no kuasira, yala nikiare no ate, washikiare naiko. As we activate the roses within you, yala kero na setiara na,
Elati
ya
mokeshkwa.
kero ana,
Ro ro ro
se
shkwe.
kwaranai kwana.
Ni ne kwashke imewe. Moshke mi idi da 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 go da 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 di ka da da ka da ka. Shko dun 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 daira daira. Daira we me kwa. Toke shkwake.
And we bring in the whales to bring their calming, soothing energies, their wisdom. They are record keepers. They want to connect with you more deeply, to unlock within you that which is meant to birth through you. So receive, beloveds, as they sound into you, into all the parts of you, on all timelines, all realities, all dimensions. As we anchor each of you in all you have received, as you anchor in this sacred circle of sisters, with many, many circles from sisters from all over, from many different timelines who have joined us, to honor these Magdalene Rose frequencies. We honor each of you for your service, each of you for anchoring love and light in this world. We honor you for having the courage to be here at this time.
Thank you, we love you.
We love each of you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
We honor each of you
Thank you.
as we shower you in eternal love and grace.
Thank you. We love you.
Each of you feeling this connection with your sisters that you have had for many lifetimes, awakening to that deeper calling within you as the rose calls you forth, calling you back home, calling you back home, back home. We welcome you back home, beloved. the spirals of the rose spiraling in your heart center, opening the portal and the pathway for you to come back home. We invite you to join us, beloveds. Join us on this pathway of love. If you are called, join us in Costa Rica in 2024 on April 20th to the 27th. We invite you to join us on this pathway of love, the pathway into the heart, into the sacred heart. It is within you, all within you, beloved. You are love, and you are loved so deeply.
You are loved and you are loved.
And we shower you and all of your relations, your family members, those you are here in service to yourself and in service to others, to the collective, to humanity, to all those who have been feeling tragedies. Most recently, with all the happenings around the world, we shower all those who have lost loved ones, who have many losses in their lives. We gather together heart to heart to shower them in love. We do the same for you, for each who are gathered here, for each who will listen to this recording, that you may remember that you are not alone, that we are always with you, that we are one through the Sacred Heart. Call upon us whenever you feel alone.
Elohim.
Call
Elohim.
for us to be with you. Call upon your soul family, the angels, the galactics, the earthly spirits, ancestors who love you so deeply and want to see you in your fullness, in the fullness of your divinity, your gifts, in what makes your heart so.
We are here always.
We are always with you, beloveds.
We are here now and always with you, loving you, holding you.
Always. Always and forever. We are one.
One to the one.
One to the
In love as we are.
And bringing you back into your bodies, all returning to their place of origin. We give you thanks for all of our helpers, and each of you returning back into your physical vessel, beginning to feel more present in your bodies, bringing with you all that you experienced, anchoring it in your bodies, in every atom, every molecule, every cell of your being, so that you may call upon this energy, call upon this experience, this memory, to hold you, to uplift you, to love you eternally, as we love you, as Source loves you, as you are loved. All of you loved eternally, with no conditions.
And so it is, so may it be.
And so it is. we close all the portals and doorways in eternal love and grace, source love, source light. Blessed be.
Deep bow of gratitude to all who are showing up as we are, to join together in the heart. To all who have been with us today and will be listening on the replay, feeling the ripples of this energy, a great embrace of divine love and grace. Thank you, my beloved sister Elohi Magdalena Rosa.
Thank
I
you.
love you eternally.
Thank you, my beloved sister Pamela. I love you eternally. I am grateful that you said yes to being here at this time with me, for we have done this work many times before, and it makes it so much easier when we are holding hands, gathered in community, loving each other.
A holy yes, amen, sister, to that.
All right, beloveds. Well, we are going to say bye for now. Thank you for being here with us. Thank you for those who will listen to the replay. We will be doing more of this because we love connecting in this way and putting this energy out into the cosmos because it is needed. We all play a role in contributing our light and love to each other. And so we are honored and privileged to be able to do this work together.
We are. Deep bow of gratitude and great love and blessings.
Till we see you.
Till we meet again.
Yes, till we meet again. Bye for now.
Yes.